A new Grand Arena season approaches, and that means a bunch of new squads that we have to talk about for 3v3. So let's check it out. What's up, Knights of X, and welcome to the best 3v3 Grand Arena squads for the month of August. Now, just want to let you guys know I have not been posting the past couple days because I have been on vacation. I just came back from Mexico yesterday, so that's why this video is delayed and why I haven't been posting. So, we are back for some Grand Arena and for some SWGOH action. So, if you guys haven't seen these types of videos before in the past, I like to break it up into 3 different categories with the best defensive teams, offensive teams, and a category I call Flex, where you can put the squads on both either offense and defense depending on your strategy if you want to change it up. And I'm going to try something a little bit different than usual. I'm going to show a different plethora of teams that you could use throughout the season. So you're going to see a couple of repeat characters because I want to show you a bunch of different options that you can use throughout the season. If you want to make a super team, if you want to break teams up and stuff like that, maybe you don't have the Datacrons up and running right away, I'm going to show a bunch of different variations of teams on offense, defense, and sometimes the flex category. So that's why there's going to be some repeats. But let's start out this video with the best defensive teams and see what I came up with. Starting out the best defensive teams, we have to talk about the best team in 3v3 and like the history of this game. Dark Side Raid focused Datacron with, I like to have First Order Stormtrooper or Crew. I'm personally going to use First Order Stormtrooper because of the extra assists that could potentially cause some issues for some teams. But my god, this probably is the best 3v3 team ever printed in this game. The Focus Datacron just seems way overtuned for 3v3. There's only really 2 confirmed counters at the moment with Jedi Master Kenobi and Bane with Malik. And even that might be iffy without the Zalbar Focus Datacron. But we're going to have to test out and see if this new set can help out with that, because we do have health as a stat with critical damage might be helpful. But guys, if you have the Focus Datacron for Kylo and Darkseid Rey, that has to go on defense. It could literally solo. It's the one team that could win you the Grand Arena easily if your go-to counters do not work. Highly defensive team this season. Then we got to talk about Lord Vader with Apo and CX2, and this team is becoming way more accessible now than it was last month. They're free to play. The Nightfall event is very helpful. I do recommend Lord Vader on defense with Apo and CX2, and the CX2 Datacron to level 9. Going to be pretty tough. Not as tough with the Apo Datacron, but still a very good defensive team in 3v3. Have to see if Bo-Katan can still deal with it, but more than likely going to have some trouble in 3v3. This is still a good team no matter what. Highly recommended for defense. Now, this is where it gets interesting, guys, and I'm going to show a couple of variations here. Now, we have Ahsoka Tano with Hoyang and Ezra Bridger, and I have to say, guys, this is the season where Ahsoka is actually going to be used on defense with Ezra 100%, because Great Mothers are actually going to be shut down this season because of the 25% Terminator Cron for light side, the level 3 for the new Datacron set. Ezra, with that level 3, will outspeed almost every single Great Mother squad in the game if you have a decently modded Ezra. So, this is why I'm suggesting if you have Ezra up and running and you're worried about your Ahsoka Tano being shut down by Great Mothers, you don't have to worry about it this season because that 25% Terminator Cron is going to shut it down. So that's why I think Ahsoka needs Ezra this season, because it actually makes her a tough team. You're not going to outspeed them, so that's why I'm really recommending Ezra with Ahsoka this season. And that brings me up to Rey, and Rey is going to be in I guess, a weaker spot because of it. She's still a strong team, but with Ezra on there, Ahsoka Tano just has way too many counters. We have the Great Mother counter. If you don't put Ahsoka with Ezra, she's getting shut down by a bunch of non-GL counters, including Great Mothers, and now this Jedi Knight Revan variant, where you can literally lower her max health protection to like 1. So, with that in mind, you have to create like a decent team, not a super team for Rey. So I'm recommending the Barriss level 9. If you guys don't have the Barriss level 9, throw in Cal Kestis. Cal Kestis is very good with Rey, or Jedi Training Rey with her level 9 Datacron. Those are a couple different options we're going to recommend. Me personally, I'm probably going to throw in Barriss in there, just because if your opponent does make a misplay and kills Barriss too early, your Ben Solo is going to be getting a lot of offense, your Rey's going to be getting a lot of offense, and her ult's going to be hitting really hard. So that's why I'm recommending Barriss with Rey this season. And this is going to be an example of like a super team I was mentioned. This team came a little unnoticed last season, and it came out towards the end. JMK with Kat and Ezra was a nightmare to deal with. most players could not get through it. They tried a lot with other teams besides, I think First Order was able to get through it with a Kylo team and Darkseid Ray, and that team's obviously always on defense. This team is extremely difficult to get through. The only problem with it is that you're risking not getting through their Kylo on offense, because if you bring JMK on defense, you have to rely on your Bane and Malik. But if you want to change it up this season and make a bunch of super teams on defense, this team will definitely cause tilt in your opponent. I guarantee it. Then we got to talk about Jabba, and Jabba is finally back on defense this season. There's actually a really good light side level 3 for Bao Slayer where she does 2% max health damage for light side. Actually gets contract pretty fast. There's a level 3 that I was tagged in on my Discord that will shut down the Night Sister counter. I believe if Darkseid characters get crit, they recover 2% max health. That will save the Night Sister cheese. So if you guys are worried about that, you can try to get one of those Datacrons up and running. But regardless, Afra's not going to be as comfortable as a counter to Jabba in 3v3. So Jabba is definitely back on defense this season. Then we got to talk about Tarkin with Disguised Clone Trooper and Scorch. Now, this team is actually able to be put back on defense now because the Sidious Kron is gone. So that is a huge, huge plus to all of our defensive teams. There's going to be a bunch of them that can't be Sidious soloed anymore because that Kron is gone. So Tarkin and Disguised Clone Trooper and Scorch are going to make a comeback on defense again. There is a Datacron for the Clone Troopers. So if you have Disguised Clone Trooper or Scorch, I'm recommending Scorch in this situation. Going to be a very tough team to deal with. The only problem is that the AI and defense that Tarkin really doesn't use his AoE if it's down to one opponent. So I hope they fix that. If not, they should. But still, going to be a tough team. 2 Omicrons recommended for defense. Now we got to talk about Baylan. And Baylan is another team that was getting soloed by Sidious. And that's not the case anymore. So you're going to have Jabba on defense and you're going to have Kylo on defense. Not going to be as many comfortable counters to Baylan this season. So you're going to have to figure out what you want to use there. But Baylan always tough in 3v3. Especially with now that he can't get soloed by Sidious. Highly recommended for defense. And this is a little cool team that I'm coming up with that I think could be pretty interesting because you have to deal with an annoying tank and you have this unique from Starkiller that's going to just amplify all the damage and the survivability and counter days and mechanics. I'm going to recommend Savage lead with Stick Ray and the Starkiller with the Stick Ray level 9. I have these guys at pretty high relics, Relic 8, and Relic 7. I might bring my Scav Ray to Relic 8. I have to check that out. I don't know if I know she's required for Hondo, but I don't know if she's required at Relic 8. I gotta check. But regardless, if you guys have the Stick Ray level 9 with these 2 OP characters, that could be pretty tough to deal with. Savage is a very good resilient tank that constantly is cleansing and getting resilient defense. Starkiller is a huge damage dealer, provides a bunch of boost in his unique, and Stick Ray is going to be hitting a crazy amount. I just modded her for some crit damage, crit chance, and offense, so I'm excited to see how this team performs on defense. The only problem is it's breaking up your Traya squad and your Vegito team, but if you guys are using Traya, she should still be able to perform fine with Nihilus and Scion or even Talon. Obviously not as strong with Savage, but I wanted to have some fun with the Stick Ray Kron, and I thought this would be a really good way to use her. Then we got to talk about Saw Gerrera and Luthen, and obviously the viability of this team is going down from last season because they had a really good Datacron, but that does not mean the team is bad. If you stack this up with the protection level 3, it can be pretty annoying to deal with and trying to get rid of Saw because he's going to be constantly getting that protection up and survivability. So Saw always is going to be a very tough team on defense. I highly recommend it, and very good with the Omicron, so I like him there. And this is going to be a similar situation to the team above where it can't be soloed anymore. Maul DeLoreans can now be put on defense because no more Sidious Kron. Very tough. They have a Datacron for the Super Commando and Gar Saxon and even Maul. So very good if they have the Retribution level 6 in my opinion. And going to be a tough team to deal with. I do like this team on defense now. Now, this is going to be a weird split that I'm recommending because I want to try to utilize 2 different teams for my Inquisitors. And I remember a while ago that I was surprised by Grand Inquisitor lead with 9 Sisters. So I'm recommending 3rd Sister with 2nd Sister and 7th Sister if you have 2 of the Datacrons. If you have the 2nd Sister Datacron and the 9th Sister Datacron, why not make 2 super teams for Inquisitors instead of 1? If you guys wanted to make the 1 super team, go ahead. You can do 3rd Sister, Grand Inquisitor, and 9th. That's a super team. If I want to split it up, I'm going to do 3rd Sister lead with 2nd Sister and 7th Sister because with Reva lead, everyone starts with 5 stacks of Purge. That is going to be ramping up 2nd Sister's damage a crazy amount. That's a lot of Purge, so it's 5 times 5. That's 5% offense for each debuff. She's going to hit very hard if she's able to take a turn. So I do think that this will be a fun split. I have to see how it plays out, but this is kind of like my theory craft to begin with. And then you go with Grand Inquisitor lead as the second strong Inquisitor leadership with the 9th Sisterchron and 5th brother. They're all going to be assisting if you have the Wardy Datachron, so Wardy level 6. So that's what I'm recommending for the first half. I want to see if this split can perform pretty well. Then we got to talk about Zori, and I think the Resistance Datachron, the level 9s, are more suitable for like 5v5. So you don't really have to worry about the Rose one. I just don't think the team will perform as well without Resistance Hero Finn. So I'm recommending a straight up regular Finn squad with Zori and Resistance Hero Finn. Very tough on defense. They have a 25% turn meter cron this season, so they're going to be hitting or going really fast. If you don't have the 25% turn meter, you can use the Rolo level 3, and the turn meter train that they're going to produce is disgusting. So I think Zori Finn is going to be very good on defense this season. Always got to talk about Tuskens. Tuskens are one of those teams that if you don't bring the right counter, you're going to get stuck. They can definitely tilt you. It's happened to me plenty of times in the past. Sidious has failed me on this, guys, and I'm so happy I don't have to use him anymore. So I do like Tuskens on defense with their Omicron on Tusken Raider. Very annoying team. Then Trench is more of a filler team this season. I'm not putting Wat Tambor with him just in case I need him for Sith Eternal. So Trench is one of those filler teams. You put Django and Count Dooku. Viability is going down because there's no more Separatist level 6. But still, if you don't bring in the right team, can be questionable. Not many players are going to have. I'm just going to show these next two. If you have Mace Windu and you want to split up the team into 2 teams instead of making 1 super team, I'm going to recommend Master Mace Windu, Depa Billaba, and Ayla Secura. And the next team being Kelleran Beck, Jocasta Nu, and Temple Guard. This allows you to make 2 super teams with Mace instead of 1. I think it's a good split because you have your very strong legendary character with Depa Billaba, good synergy there, and Ayla Secura for the counter, like, out of turn attacks. And then it makes your Kelleran Beck squad very strong with the Temple Guard, captive mechanic and Jocasta's fast rifle form. Can be pretty tough to deal with, so I like these 2 splits. Then we got to talk about Krennic, and I'm personally not going to be using this in 3v3, but I have seen players say that it actually does nasty work with the support cron. So I'm going to recommend Krennic, Death Trooper, and Shore Trooper only with his focus data cron. I still don't think it's going to be the best for most situations, but if you want to throw it in there, sometimes during the season and throw off your opponent, it can be pretty tough. And the last thing I'm going to recommend is going to be the Pirate Squad. These guys are actually able to be used now because we can take these characters to relics. I have the Kix Focus Datachron, so maybe I can make some work out of that Focus Datachron with Ethano lead. Kix level 15 and SM33 as that big damage dealer. I'm hoping this team can perform pretty well without Hondo or Maz. We're going to have to see. So that is going to be the best 3v3 defensive teams for the season. We're now going to move on to the offensive teams. Starting the list with the best offensive teams, always have to talk about Leia. I think Leia has so much value on offense this season just because she could take out so many different GL squads. She's going to be really good against Lord Vader, really good against some Kenobi squads. Like, her banner recovery, her damage immunity, her stealth mechanics, all very good. Good at taking out Ahsoka. She might be the go-to for Ahsoka this season if you don't want to use your Sith Eternal and Bane combined. So very good offensive Galactic Legend. Really good for this season. And that's going to feed into the next 3. And this is like a 3-in-1 different type of situation kind of thing. Obviously, if you combine Sith Eternal and Bane, that's the super team. They could take out a bunch of different squads. But if you want to split them up, Bane and Malak. That's the big question of today. Bane, Malak. Can you still take out Darkseid Rey with her Focus Datachron? Those 2 alone carried me last season, got me into the top 50 because I was able to save my Kenobi for defense or other teams because Bane and Malak worked. It worked. So we're going to have to find a Datachron that can make it work and see if the RNG is still in our favor. So Bane and Malak is fully for Darkseid Rey. Then if you don't want to use the Sith Eternal or Bane Malak combo, you can use Sith Eternal by himself with Wat Tambor or Armor or anything like that. I personally really like Sith Eternal for like solos and stuff like that. So really happy with him. Now we got to talk about Wampa. We have to see if Wampa can actually do some work with his Datachron. Now, his Datachron is really good in terms for the stats. So the stats are going to be doing a lot of work for other squads. But him on his own, we have to see. We have to see what he can do. I'm going to be doing a bunch of testing on my alt account, on my main account, and see if this guy can be viable in Kyber 1. But alone, his Datacron is going to be very good. Hopefully, Wampa can do some work this season. Now, I'm going to recommend the next counter for Darkseid Ray. That's going to be Jedi Master Kenobi, Commander Ahsoka Tano, and 5s, strictly for offense, because the AI is going to hard target 5s. If you guys don't feel like using 5s, you can use OG Mace Windu. OG Mace is still able to take out Kenobi or Darkseid Ray as well. Very good at removing the stealth, the ability blocks. So those are other options, but I know the AI hard targets 5s, so the RNG with them targeting Cat is reduced. So that's why I'm recommending this for offense. Then I'm going to talk about Jedi Master Luke with the Jedi Knight Luke focused Datacron with Hermit Yoda. Very good at cheesing that coin mechanic. You could take like 9 turns in a row. It's actually insane. Very good at taking out Lord Vader. Actually, the goal I think for this season is to try to keep the Hermit Yoda Kron with Hermit Yoda and keep JMK alone with a new set with like a protection up Kron and lots of health. That's the goal. So if you could fully utilize this on defense, it could be pretty tough. Inquisitors might be able to handle it. I'm not sure yet. But still, very good Datacron, very good on offense. Gotta see. Then I'm going to do a 2 combo here. It's going to be my Vegito squad, which obviously is very good at taking out so many different things. I was able to take out a Jedi Master Luke with Ezra last season with this. You could take out Lord Vader. You could take out Rey. It's just such a good team. If you wanted to split it up into that other Rey squad with Stick Rey, you can use a regular unaligned Force User team with Seer, Cal, and Taron Malicos. Still able to take out a number of different squads. Even can take out Rey still. Starkiller just really makes it a super team. But if you guys don't use Starkiller in it, still a very good team. Then we're going to talk about Bo-Katan. And Bo-Katan is really, really good with the Rolo level 3. Might be able to handle Lord Vader this season because of that level 3. Now, if you guys are worried about not being able to do enough damage, remove Paz Vizsla and put in Bam, Beskar Armor Mandalorian, build enough birds. If you use the Rolo level 3 and your Beskar Armor Mandalorian does the Whistling Bird move, Bo's going to assist, IG's going to assist, and that's going to ramp up his birds even more. So, really good at stacking up those birds. But if you don't use that, Paz Vizsla is a great tank, and I absolutely love this team for offense. Have to talk about Night Sisters because this Night Sister team is very good at cheesing. I believe if you throw in a Saj, it's good at taking out Jabba. But I don't have the Omicron on Marin. I don't have much experience with it. But there is a Night Sister Datacron this season. So maybe this squad could take out more stuff on offense than normal. But I do like it because of the Plague, the extra turn and revive mechanic for Marin, and Oldaka with the healing and revives as well. So very good team. These are like a 2 combo kind of situation. Radis is good on offense because you can take out Dark Trooper Moff Gideon if you see it on defense. Very good at countering Empire. So if you see annoying Empire squads like Iden, very good at dealing with it. So I do like Radis on offense. And with DTMG, very good team. And sometimes if you throw in the support Kron, can actually ramp up their damage a crazy amount. But different in 3v3 than 5v5. You have to throw in a attacker in there to make it really work, like Death Trooper. But still, they're a pretty good team. They can take out Grievous, so I like putting them on offense. Now, I want to talk about Jar Jar, and I think Jar Jar in 3v3 is going to be an offensive team. Just way too many counters on 3v3, especially if you put Jar Jar with the tank. It's just so easily taken out by Traya and a bunch of different squads. And with the Tarpals level 9, I think it's better off on offense because you can abuse the mechanics even more. So Jar Jar is an offensive team for me this season. And the last team I'm going to recommend for offense is going to be Afra. I think Afra is back on offense. Going to have way too many counters on defense. Not nearly as good without that focused Datacron. So, is she going to be able to take out Jabba? I really don't know. Might be able to use the 50R-T Datacron level 3 with this team and see if it helps. It could possibly help, but we're going to have to see. But in my opinion, I don't think Afra is going to be a defensive team this season. So, that's going to wrap up the offensive list, guys. We're now going to move on to the flex. Flex category time, and the first team I want to talk about is going to be the Darth Vader focused Datacron. I'm really hoping this team can have some fun. I'm not expecting it to be able to be a GL killer, but if it could provide some pretty strong holds or force you to use teams that you're not normally able to beat it with, then that's a win in my opinion. So, Vader focused Datacron, I'm recommending Piet and General Veers. I don't think Snowtrooper is going to ramp up enough offense in 3v3 than it could in 5v5. So that's why I think Veers is going to be better. That mass form is pretty strong. And the AoE. Piet is good with the marked. If you put marked on Vader, you can definitely like be unkillable for a majority of the battle. So this is strictly for the Vader focused Datacron. I'm hoping that this team can perform well, but this is the team I'm recommending for it. Then we got to talk about the best team in the game with the support level 12, and that's Queen Amidala. This team has saved me so much last season. It could take out so much. It could take out Ahsoka. It could take out Rey. It is just so freaking strong. And even on defense, if your Bane counter doesn't work, you're cooked. You're absolutely cooked. It shuts down so many things. Queen Amidala is one of the best teams in the game this season because of the support level 12. It's nasty work. Now, Great Mothers, my pride and joy, one of my favorite teams in the game. Their viability on offense is going down a little bit. And it's because of what I said earlier. The focused, or the 25% turn meter cron is just going to shut down Ahsoka. That doesn't mean they're completely useless. They could take out a bunch of other squads. I've been able to take out Jabba in 3v3 as well. So they're still a GL killer. They still are a GL killer. They're just not going to be a go-to Ahsoka counter this season because the majority of players are going to throw that 25% turn meter. But still a great team, even good on defense. There's a Night Sister level 6 that converts their defense to offense. They're going to hit extremely hard, so get ready for it. Now we got to talk about the Bad Batch, and there's no more Datacron for Bad Batch, but still, I've been able to see that the Rolo level 3 does amazing work with them. Actually crazy. It could like create a crazy loop. Now, I don't know if that works in 3v3, but I know that Crosshair with the Omicron, it hits under protection, and he's going to remove stacks of Shaken. So, it could be pretty tough to deal with. It really could. So, don't be, you might be surprised by that Rolo 3 with the new Bad Batch. So, keep an eye on them. Now, I'm recommending General Skywalker, and the reason I'm recommending Arc and Echo in there is because if you're using 5s with your Jedi Master Kenobi, you might as well use the other 2 clones. If you want to use Rex, you could use Rex, but Rex could be used in maybe a different other clone team. But that's why I'm not including 5s here. This could steal some banners. Not that good on offense in terms of banners, but it could help you take out like teams like Tuskens and stuff like that. So, not a bad team to have. It's a good backup filler team, but still, that's why 5s is in there. Always like to include Omicron Qui-Gon Jinn. Still very good team, even in Kyber 1. There's a Jedi Vanguard level 6 that lowers his damage reduction or increases his damage reduction if he's above a certain turn meter threshold. So, still very good. I got a bunch of holds with it last season. So, still, even in Kyber 1, a very good team. I like to include Traya, and here I'm including Savage because of, if you guys don't have the Stick Ray level 9, still a very good squad. If you guys are going to use Savage for a different team, throw in Scion. They could still perform very well, even with the Traya Omicron. I still think they could be able to beat Gungans. I still think they can. But that's why I'm recommending them on Flex. They're still a very good, tough team to deal with and require a very good team to beat. Over here, I'm recommending Malgus Lee with Bastila Fallen and Talon, and only if I'm using Darth Revan with Zalbar. So, if you're not using Zalbar, use Bastila and Darth Revan here. If you are, throw in Talon. Helps Malgus get an extra revive mechanic and stuff like that. It increases his stats. So, very good team on offense and still good on defense. Requires a pretty good team to take it out. Now we can talk about Captain Enoch with Night Trooper. This is where I'm going to recommend the Night Trooper level 9 for 3v3. I don't think it's going to be as good as it would be in 5v5. But if you're going to use it, Enoch is going to be the guy to go for because I just don't recommend removing Spirit off of a Great Mother squad. And I don't think that Night Trooper is going to turn Dark Trooper Moff Gideon into like a crazy super team with it. So that's why I think Enoch is going to be your best bet with Death Trooper Peridia as your second unit. Could be pretty tough this season with that level 9. So, gotta check it out. Now I'm recommending Darth Revan with Zalbar and Mission. Obviously, the Zalbar focus Datacron is gone. So, it's going to be not that good on offense because of banners. But it could help you in a pinch if you want to get rid of some teams that you're not normally able to take out. Because this could really take out a Reva squad. We don't know what the new Datacron set. We have to see. But I have used this in the past to take out Reva. So, that's why I'm recommending it in the flex category. It can be pretty annoying on defense for your opponent to deal with. It could also get you out of a pinch on offense. Always like recommending CLS because CLS, even with C-3PO and 3PO, are very good. I'm able to take out a regular Starkiller squad with it. So if you put Emperor Palpatine, Mara Jade, and Starkiller, I absolutely have a blast using them on offense with it. But even on defense, if your opponent does not have the right counter, it could shut it down. And even with the protection up level 3, this team could be a huge pain to deal with. I'm being serious. That protection up level 3 will make it very difficult to get through. Just because you think you're going to get them low, boom, protection up comes, and then you're screwed. And then you can get a Terminator train going. Don't underestimate this team with that level 3. So, very good team. Love CLS. And the last thing I'm recommending for Flex is going to be General Grievous with Stap and B1. Grievous, I just applied this Omicron on Stap, so I want to, try to have some fun with it. Obviously, the reliability is going down. No more Separatist level 6 and no Grievous 9. But there is the 50R-T level 3, which helps the droids out a great amount. They give them, like, undispellable buffs. So even on offense and defense, it can be pretty tough to deal with. They're going to do a lot of damage, so that is going to wrap up the Flex category and wrap up this best 3v3 squads for the month of August. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a bunch of different squads. So please, please, please leave a like on the video on your way out. Leave all your comments in the comment section down below. Let me know, did I get this list right? What do you agree with? What do you not agree with? Let me know down below, Knights of X. And as always, guys, always going to remind you, like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel to become a Knight of X. And I'll see you guys in the next video. May the Force be with you all.